loading into the next match here, which is going to be Colt versus Kanapek, which is also two teams once again that are very, very experienced and that can bring a lot to the table. Both are very experienced here once again.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting pool there on the Dead Dog Saloon for these two teams. Colt coming out on the killer first here. The picks they agreed on, or what they reduced the killer pool to, is the Doctor, the Huntress, and the Legion. Legion is a killer I would really love to see in competitive environment. Again, I do think, though, that they're going to make the decision between Doctor and Huntress. Actually, given these two teams, I'm not too sure what to predict on, because Huntress has a very huge potential if you get that first down early with the shack in the center of the map, but Doctor can also really help you for stealthing survivors on the edge map on Dead Dog Saloon, can really help you limiting the looping and the resources, thinking about the main building, stuff like this. So Doctor and Huntress really offering unique advantages given the map context here. So it's going to be a difficult decision for these two teams here, Colt and Kanapek. We're going to find out how Colt is going to do on the killer side as they're going to start this set here, and we are going to catch you straight after a short intermission.
Hello everybody, and we are back with the second matchup between KVLT and Zlodzieje Kanapek on the Dead Dog Saloon with a pool of Huntress, Legion and Doctor. They may pick any of those three, and we are going to see the Huntress starting off here representing representing Team KVLT here in the very first game against the survivors of Kanapek. We are going to see the first survivor being spotted very early on here in main building. Crazy trying to go for a slap through the window on main building, but unfortunately to no avail. Tries to go for another very ambitious hatchet throw here. Does not manage to thread the needle through the fence here, unfortunately. Tries another one, but that is just going to be two hatchets wasted here, and Crazy will be forced to restock here very soon.
Yeah, not the start you're looking for on your killer side. Very ambitious, as you mentioned. Now moving over towards the map corner over here. It's the chance to find an M1 onto the lorry. 3 hatches still remaining, though. So if this results in a quick down, that would be huge for the Colt here, but unfortunately not finding the hit onto our survivor. Another hatchet not successful as well, so you have one last. Need to be really careful as this pallet here is quite strong. Lorry dropping it unexpectedly early, so there's no hatchet coming in, and this leaves us on the chase in the houses over here in the corrupt area as well. So our survivor team has a huge chance to get efficiency into these generators, and this is going to be the hatchet. Around the corner here. This is a huge down for our killer, but very nice start. The question is, how many generators are you actually losing for this?
Yeah, I'm very sorry for the survivor that was just down, but that is what I also see on whenever I play on Australian servers. Crazy is gonna be able to hit the homing hatchet right around the corner and will be able to secure a hook right in the middle of the map. The survivors, however, were able to pop the main building generator here. So Crazy, unfortunately, does not have this 3-gen right around the hook available, as there are 2 generators right next to the hook here, as we can tell on the right side here. And we are also not going to see the Oakhaft add-on being used. Instead, Crazy opts to go with the Roseroot add-on, which is going to increase that flight speed time, of course, and of course the Flower Babushka, which is just generally accepted the best add-on for Huntress. As we see, 3 generators popped here by Kanapek in the meantime, so that first chase really did put a number on KVLT's killer here, not being able to exert more pressure here, as our survivor for Kanapek was able to have such a long chase and a fantastic hit right through main building here. The eyes of an eagle. Crazy is going to be able to find that survivor located so far away, but still will be able to land that snipe, and I'm pretty sure that was also a borrowed time saver setting up for the rescue on the hook here, so that is going to be very difficult for Kanapek to recover from.
Yeah, this was a very great shot there in the main building. Now also becoming a little bit more confident here, pushing over towards the Gallows generator, because you do notice, of course, the efficiency from our survivor team. So you do look forward to get some fresh survivors in the trial. Nice one onto the Fang. She's kinda in the open, but this one a little bit too early. So this is too much hesitation from Cole's killer here. You need to try go for the mind game, not finding the target. No hatchets remaining, so you are forced to restock. A nice stun for our Fang here in the dead zone, so she will stand and will continue this chase, but a little bit of a mistake coming out the vault into the killer. So a nice down. You will get a fresh hook and 3 stages on the board now. We can tell that Crazy moved away from the typical 3v1 tunnel, as you do. We mentioned it. Notice that the survivor team is really efficient here, so you're going for as many points as possible, and the down onto our Fang here is really setting you up on that. The pain resonance value coming in across the way there as well. So if the next chase, we have just seen the reset, but if the next chase is coming out quite quick for Crazy once again, he will be in a good spot where he can pull the pressure back.
Yeah, Crazy just showing off a lot of confidence here on the Huntress with this add-on combination, putting in so much work here, actually getting a lot of value out of it, threading the needle every single time with that extra flight speed that is granted by the Rose Route here. And we are going to see Crazy will find another chase here on the water tower of this map here, and that is actually a tower that can be played quite nicely by the Huntress, as you are able to thread the needle here on countless of spots right through the broken down water tower. There are a lot of spots that you can throw hatchets through, so that is, despite that relatively safe pallet here, a very difficult spot to contend a Huntress at. But we are going to see that Crazy spots more scratch marks right in the corner of the map here. Here, once again, on this rather strong window that still has both breakable wards standing, so these survivors will be able to take best advantage as they can. And the penultimate generator pops in the distance here, and I'm pretty sure the survivors are currently trying to contest this Gallows generator, and it seems like they are going to commit to it. And Crazy, not having Noid and not having OCAF, might pay the price here for not bringing either of these. But we are going to see that Feng is going to take the hit here, trying to drop down to safety. Crazy is going to push right through that pallet here. Feng is, however, going to cut the corner as quickly as she can and will be able to avoid this hatchet. Tries to run away. This does look like a lucky break play here, as there are no scratch marks on the floor, but that might also just be dead dogs with its strong vegetation. But we are going to see Feng will ultimately, unfortunately, go down here, and this is looking like a basement hook, but Crazy is not going to go for it, as this might be a waste of time. We still got that rank core up. We still got the rank obsession in the game, so Crazy is going to try to find one more survivor here before this game concludes.
And I would say you kinda have to, right? Because we have 5 stages if this survivor dies on just 2 survivors across the board here. So definitely not the optimal result you are aiming for. 5 stages, definitely not a bad starter here, but there was a little bit more pressure possible. I do feel like we had really the pressure down in the mid game there when we had the Fang as the fresh hook, and as we mentioned, he was going for this additional bonus point, for these additional hook stages, and then Kanapek with one really great chase, taking the pressure back, setting it down. So this was definitely a turning point there for Kanapek in this trial. It's going to be interesting now how Kanapek is coming out on killer. Mathiiis just asking you for the prediction. Doctor, Huntress, or Legion?
Well, personally, I am tending a bit towards the Legion just because I want to see it. That's a killer you rarely ever see, or I don't think have ever seen. If it's available in a pool, that is just a killer that exclusively never gets picked. I have not seen it in a European or American tournament ever being played. The only place where I have seen it in the past was, I think, last year in some Australian tournaments where the killer has been used with their iridescent button add-on and was actually able to perform quite well against some teams. So it could be a surprise pick, but especially on a map like Dead Dog, with the abundance of safe tiles that exists on the tile, especially with main building, is gonna be difficult to play against. So it's most likely going to be a Doctor, or we might just see a mirror match with another Huntress being played. But Doctor is definitely also a killer that gets picked quite a lot because you can just deny all of those tiles. But we are loading into this deciding match again between Zlodzieje and Kanapek very soon.
Welcome back, everybody, to the second trial between Colt, now on the Survivor side, and Kanapek with the Reaper on the Huntress as well. Interesting to see that this is going to be a mirror match and not opting to go for the Doctor here. Now we do see that our killer is trying to find the first survivor, maybe behind the main building, now saying, no, I'm gonna check the mid-map instead, not allowing Colt to be quick on the generators here. Will be interesting if they're going for a stealth for the start, because we do have a very tough win condition of just handing out 5 stages max for a tie here, so you might keep it a little bit slower. Never mind Colt pressuring these generators very, very actively. We do see the water tower being repaired by 40% so far, and this is going to be the first chase now with Crazy, who just played the Huntress, so an experienced survivor against this killer, holding W around this pallet, trying to waste as much time as possible. Now coming to the mind game. It is going to be a very, very confident one by Reaper here, leading into the first hit. The question is, how long can Colt's survivor keep up the run here?
Yeah, just phenomenally played here by Reaper. We see our survivor from Team Colt with very confident just W holding here, abusing the fact that Huntress is a 110 killer. And now, Dire, you were acting all surprised at the start of the game that we're not seeing a Doctor, while I'm just sitting here absolutely flabbergasted that there's no Legion in play. But we are, of course, now going to see Reaper with the mirror matchup, trying to rival the Huntress performance that we've just spectated. Next in chase is gonna be Nagaboy here, who is going to fake going wide and then cuts the corner as tightly as possible, and will be able to avoid that hatchet. But instead of the Rose Root that we saw being brought in by Crazy in the previous game, we are now going to see Oakheft, and we do see a little bit of value already coming in after on that first hit on Nakaboy. Reaper now unfortunately running out of hatchets, and we're gonna see the Nakaboy is taking full advantage of that fact, and just falls again back to the window. Reaper will now be forced to reload on their hatchets, and is going to try to land a sniper on Nakaboy, because if that survivor makes it behind the building that he's looking at right now, that could be detrimental. We see the second generator pop already. Of course, that Rancor gets revealed here once again. Reaper knows exactly where all these survivors are located, and as a killer like Huntress, that is extremely vital information here. Reaper now struggling to find Nakaboy here once again. Seems to have a lot of distance here already. We see some very distant scratch marks, or some very feeble scratch marks rather, and the next chase is going to continue on to Crazy here, who has been taking over in Shack.
Very nice to see our survivor rotating back and also trying to take the attention here. It is going to be mad now. Running around this pallet here, has dropped it very early to create a safe space. Earth generator coming out, considering that the first injury back then on the water tower was quite quickly into the trial. It's impressive. It's almost outstanding that Team Colt has not been downed with any survivor just yet. And Matt here on a very, very strong tile, dropping these pallets early. And I do think this is not a waste of resource at all, as the survivor team has been so efficiently that they do have the time to just give these resources away. We also see the reset coming in across the way. So 4 healthy survivors on 2 generators remaining, 0 stages so far. Absolute impressive performance from Team Colt so far. Back onto the Claudette here. Crazy. It's basically the second 1v1 between these 2 players here, and Crazy staying as the winner for now, keeping the chase up, holding W. Reaper trying to snipe around the corner here, but Crazy is careful, holding the corner instead, and M1 instead, but the Volt will lead into some distance. Matt is also around here, potentially to protect the teammate a little bit, so Team Colt looks so confident right now that I'm going to say, if we don't see a down in the next 20 seconds here, it's going to be really difficult for Team Kanapek.
Ooh. Yeah, and also it's just a really, really smart play by Crazy on that T&L wall in the corner, forcing the M1, avoiding the Oakheft hit here, which could have connected a very fast 2-tap here that is very possible as the Huntress here with the add-ons that are being brought in. But we just see Crazy being so confident here with the double vault, and in general in the chase. We now see Mordo coming in, who's trying to tank it, but we see that strength of Oakheft coming in right after. This survivor's not gonna go down, but instead Crazy will take the bullet, and Crazy will go down. down. We see the adrenaline here by Mordo. I believe that they were trying to set up the adrenaline player for Mordo, but instead Crazy will take the down here. But I also think that Mordo would, if Mordo had gone down there, that person would have been stuck in a difficult spot here anyway, and would have most likely gone down there, gone down right after, because the pallet was blocking the path and Crazy was occupying it. But Crazy is now going to be the first survivor on hook, but we see that exit gate opening. Mordo was already running to that spot previously, and that is going to be the 3-man escape with only 3 stages given as hatch opens. And in contrast to the 5 stages that were achieved in the previous game, this is going to be the win for Team Colt.
3 stages overall here, but if we talk about the in-game performance, it was technically just 1 down, 1 hook in this game here. Absolutely phenomenal by Team Colt, how they're coming out here on the Dead Dog Saloon, forcing Kanapek going into the losers bracket here. Congratulations to the team, a really, really strong performance here on this mirror match especially. We have seen that Huntress can really struggle if you do make the most out of these tiles, and that's really, really what Team Colt managed to do here. We've seen it on Matt around the shack perfectly. They're dropping these pallets early to create safe tiles here, so an absolute phenomenal game there. Makes me think that Legion, now coming back to your favorite pick for this one, maybe Legion wouldn't have been that bad of a pick, considering that the pressure, at least across the Survivor team, would have been maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, we are unfortunately not dealing with the PTB Legion yet, who would have maybe outperformed the Hunters here, the 5 stages in the previous game, but it's just absolutely phenomenal to see, especially Mathiiis and Crazy, just so much confidence on Shack, while the Huntress was packing agitation and could have gotten a basement hook relatively early on, but the survivors were not giving the Huntress more than, I believe, 3 hits throughout the entire trial, or 3 or 4 hits, I believe it was, considering the hit tanks as well, which is just unbelievable, especially with a Huntress who's seen as a relatively strong chaser killer even on a map like Dead Dog. Even despite all the line of sight blockers, there's still a lot you can do, especially with the Flower Babushka and the Oak-Haft. That just makes your melee, or not your melee, but your close combat just so much stronger, and can it creates the possibility of a very fast 2-tap if the survivor is a little bit out of position. But that is just a very, very close set once again here between these two teams, and another phenomenal set right after the Sequence versus Swamp set that we just watched. But that is now going to be Colt moving on with the with a difference of 5-3 stages, or to be exact, it's going to be a 31 for Team Colt to the 24 of Zlodzieje Kanapek. Very unfortunate ending here for the teams, but only the winner may move on to the later rounds of the tournament. And that is also just gonna be the games that I will be casting today, and you will still have Dir3Wolf sticking around.